Hi everybody, today we talk about the bus feed. I have a Dante card in my console. Welcome to another Monday live stream. How's it going? Welcome, Patrick. Welcome, Nick. Tells Up Dream 97. Welcome. Always good to be back with you guys. I hope you had a great holidays. I think we can say that this is over now. Happy New Year to everybody. If it's your first time joining the live stream or joining this channel, hi, my name is Guillaume. I'm a live sound engineer that talk about the Behringer Wing, that talk about anything else that has to do with the world of live sound. And today, this is what we have on the menu. This is a Q&A. This is my show where I take questions from the people in the chat. Come, Jean-Claude. Like Jean-Claude. Hello, great background. Thank you very much. I've worked so hard on that. And I'm trying some new stuff with the light. You know, I'm having some more colorful stuff in the background. I'm not sure about the lens that I'm using. Working on that. I'm not sure if the other one that I have is wider. You know, I'm not sure if I want to go that route or not. But I think this one is probably wide enough for me to do my stuff. But the background looking, oh, so much better. So much better. Really happy with the result that I have. I have a video where I show you guys how I ripped off the old one, installed the new one. It's not a green screen. No, it's not a green screen. I don't want to do a green screen. While I was doing my research on what I should do for my background, some people suggested to use, like, when you are a YouTuber, you should use a green screen, or just use, you know, the surround around you, and you do like a photo mask, and you create basically an AI image of your background, and you build that stuff. And I was like, oh man, it sounds so fake. It sounds so fake. I cannot stand that. As much as I would like, I cannot. This is not working for me. I could not do that. Hold on. Lost the chat here. For some reason, we having technical difficulties here. Like we never have technical difficulty. It never happened. You guys should know that. Hold on. Let me do this quickly. Always fun to play around in OBS when you are doing a live stream. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's just for me to see what's on the screen, because I have a prompter, like the one that I'm watching right now, where I see your comments, and I have also a monitor in the back that can tell me if I'm on this camera or if I'm on this camera, which is totally crooked. And this is why, you know, I like to have a visual of what's going on the stream. There you go. Of course, we got to take question from people in the chat. This is what we're here. So, Dan, I like the landscape better. Oh yeah, definitely. That's not, the vertical stuff is not coming back. Not gonna happen. I tried it. You guys were very vocal about it. It's not working. I gave it a fair try. I did two, well, accidental live stream, one accidental and one live stream, and it's not working. It's okay. I gave it a shot. The room looks good. Thank you very much. Rolf, happy 2025. Thank you very much. Rolf is my longest, or I don't know how I should say that, longest, most present viewer. He's here pretty much all the time. He's commenting all the time. He sends me an email from time to time if I'm doing something wrong. He's nice enough to not send me a bad comment. He sent me an email if I do something wrong. Thank you very much, Rolf, for being part of this community. I like it. Did I scratch? I think I scratched my compact. Hold on. I thought it was left over, but anyway, I scratched a compact. Okay, moving on. Salut Fanny, juste arrêté pour me dire allô. Toujours content d'avoir des nouvelles. Des gens Thank you very much, everyone who stopped by just to say hi, even if you can not stay. I like it. Chris White, hey Guillaume, how are you? You said looks sweet. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, Chris. One of the other longtime viewer and member of the channel. Really appreciate that. It's been a while since I spoke about that, but if you are in a situation where you feel like you can support the channel, feel free. It's not an obligation at all, but make sure to subscribe as a member if you want to not really get much. Actually, getting the video before they get officially released. And right now I'm pre-filming. You know, I'm taking the time off to filming video in advance. So if you guys want to see what's going to come up for the next month, you can subscribe as a YouTube member. Even the shortest, the smallest, lowest amount of paid subscription give you access to all the video. So if you guys feel like you want to support me a lot, a little, actually, if you want to become a super member, it's been a while since I did that pitch. If you guys want to become super member of the channel and you want to do one-on-one conversation with me, I give to every super member of the channel 1 hour per month of one-on-one time with me. If you guys want to, I don't know, having a hard time doing something on your console, you want me to look at your show file, whatever, if you are a super member, I give you 1 hour of free time. Otherwise, I'm available on video call if you guys want to do that. It's always an option for me to, you send me a PayPal, we figure out what you need to figure out, we work it out, we make sure that you're good with that, and you can go on and do your shows. Question from Patrick. By the way, if you don't know who Patrick is, he's my moderator here, but also is a great software developer. He's done a lot of software for the Wing, for the Compact, the full size. I don't know if he did something special for the Rack and the Compact, but he's been doing a lot of stuff for all the, I would say, a couple of Behringer stuff, because he has a lot of software that also work with the X32, Reaper. It's basically stuff that you cannot do on a console. If you have a small computer next to you and enter his software, you can do some crazy manipulation, like having multi-track option from one SD card to another on your console. Anyway, just to say, go check out his website, x32ram.com, x32ram.com. He's got some really cool software. I cannot name them all, but go check them out. I'm pretty sure you're gonna find something in there, and it's also like a one-man operation, so if you want to buy one of his software, it's gonna go straight to him, and it's making a huge difference for solo dev like Patrick. So Patrick, thank you very much. You got a question? I'm gonna come back to the other one after. Let's start with Patrick's question. Have you tried DAW mode on the Compact? Question mark. No. The rack doesn't have, at least for now, AW layer mode, DAW layer mode. That's okay with me, but some users seem to ask on this for the rack. OBS, you should control it from your version of WCC. I know, I need to integrate that. It's just all the web-based stuff that I need to figure out, Patrick. I know I'm really bad with that, but okay. I know I didn't try the DAW mode for a Compact. Maybe we can try it together and see what's going on with that, but I didn't have the time to do this. The only thing that I did to my Compact, and I actually filmed a video about it, is installing an internal Dante card. This one now has a Dante card inside of it. Right there, I have a 64 module. I found a cheap one on eBay, and I'll have a video explaining all about that. But please, 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 before you jump the gun and just go buy any Broken 2 card on eBay, wait for my video to come out. It's not as plug and play as it seems. Well, depending on what you get. If you get a card that is for a Wing, that is already flashed for a Wing, you should not have any problem. If, like me, you bought a card that was not for the Wing, there's a couple tweak that you need to do, and maybe some hardware gear that you would need to have access to before jumping the gun on that. So please be careful what you buy if you want to jump in on the Dante stuff. It could be tricky really fast. I'm gonna go down the chat. I just wanna make sure that I don't forget anybody. Does a Dream 1176 LA2A combo plugin would be a nice addition on the channel and bus on the wing. Actually, it should be on... Yes, I do agree, but it should be in that section of the effect, if you ask me. If you were here, if you're on the channel strip, we should have that option here instead of having to use two channel. But is there anything with two compressor on it? Maybe the mastering chain? Because I love doing dual compressor on my vocal, and I usually don't do 1176 LA2A. I usually do 1176 160 for my vocal. I love those. It's just like the vocal become a solid block of voice that doesn't move. I love it. Also, Compressor and EQ will be great on channel and bus without using an effect rack. I think this is because of latency or processing that we are limited to have that on the effect rack. I'm not sure about it, but maybe. Devil PS Kid, what's up? What's up, guys? Tommy Clay, looks great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Dawn of Dream. I've been programming a corporate event AV snap file on a Wing Compact today. I did big wedding ceremony snap file with snap file already on a Wing Compact last week. Yeah, it's working good. X32 emulator. I don't know what that is. Can you emulate the communication engine of a X32? So could you do the same thing with that? I feel like I may like the Wing Rack better than the Compact. Really? I love the Compact. I feel like it could use a fader bank control from the Wing Rack and even be more flexible at a position. And yes, it should. You know, the Wing Rack's probably going to end up in the same situation as the X32, where we had the remote for it. Basically, they're probably going to release a remote for it, and if they do, I hope it's going to communicate with network, because back in the day on my X32, I used to have a full-size X-Touch, and I was having it with a router next to me, and I was doing a bridge between the two network. So basically, I had a small, fader wing at the front, and I was Wi-Fi to the stage. And that's okay because there is no audio. If I lose signal in that situation, I'm not losing the show. It's basically like if your iPad disconnect from your setup. And I could have run that with wired Ethernet and that would have worked. We'll see. We'll see what's going on with that, but there is demand for a fader bank. I hope they would go with something like maybe a 12 channel this time instead of 8. It would be funnier, or 24 channel. Maybe something that can be rack mount, or like the bottom of the Compact. Maybe if they can recycle something like this, just the bottom part of the Compact would look good on a remote. Maybe having some other tweaks, but having layers option here and maybe blank button on the left. If anybody at Music Tribe is listening, it would be really fun to have that, and just that part, and a way to communicate with that to the Wing. And having maybe not as many buttons here, but why not? I mean, if it's the same board that could be retrofit into a remote, it would be awesome. With the little screen here and having all your stuff available would be great. Patrick, can you explain to us, or at least to me, what is a emulation of an X32? I'm not really sure I understand the purpose of that. Ralph, Maybe it would be interesting to show how to reuse an X32 Dante card as an internal for the wing. That's okay. My video about the Dante stuff is not finished. I need to film the part where I talk about choosing the right card for your console, and it could be tricky. So maybe I can integrate that. Yes, that the X32 stuff is probably easier to fit in there, but it's going to be limited by the channel. I actually need to talk about that, because if you don't know, a Brooklyn card has different number of channel on the card itself. The one that I have for the wing, and probably most of you guys use 64 by 64. There's also a 32 by 32 version. There is a 8 version, and I don't know, 8 channel by 8 channel. I don't know if there's a 16. If anybody in the chat know, is there a 16 in and out version of Dante stuff, Dante Brooklyn 2 card? 128, you mean? No, there's no 128 version. If you want to do that, you need to have 2 cards, because I believe the 64 limitation is also going to be in the slot that you're using your card into, meaning inside the wing, the slot I believe is only for 64 channel, like the external slot is only for 64 channel. When you have SD card, if you want to record on the W Live card that is included with the wing, you're limited to 64 channel. I don't think it's a really big problem, to be honest, but I think it's more of a physical limitation. If you want to have 120, it's definitely possible. You just need to run 2 cards. You need to run an internal using the 2 port next to the power connection in the back, and you need to have also another card for the option card. Basically, replace your W Live card, and it will be that. I don't think that they have a 16 by 16 Brooklyn 2 card. Not a choice in order. Allen&Eat is bidirectional 128. Are they using Brooklyn 2 card? Because that's the thing. That's the difference here. Buller, hey, what's up? The card that goes inside the console is a Brooklyn 2 or 3, depending on the version that you have. They just released, if I'm correct, the Brooklyn 3 card. So if you want to use those internal slot, you need to have a Dante or Odonate Dante Brooklyn card, or the Wave stuff. The Wave stuff is working on exactly the same slot, but I don't know if the Allen&Eat stuff is the same Brooklyn card. Maybe it is, maybe it's using the same point, but I have no idea. I never look into the Dante stuff for Allen&Eat. I've never been an Allen&Eat fan, like ever. The first console that I started mix with was a GL2400, and I hated that thing so much back in the analog day. I disliked the EQ so much on those things. Let's bring up the second tab point, direct out issue that seems to be running wild on the forum and Facebook. Can we achieve channel direct out by losing the tap EQ or making it selectable on the first insert or the second insert? Well, you can, depending on how many you want, you can always use a bus for that, but it's not a really useful way to use a bus. But I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if this is an option. I think we kind of close to the max, the maximum option of in and out available in the wing. Can they, and I'm thinking out loud. Can they do a virtual option for that? Can they do, not having a real-time direct out, meaning that you have latency? But should they do that? Because if you do that, so I'm thinking out loud. Can they use, like, let's say, can we use like a direct out for not a bus, but could we use the second insert point here and say, don't send that to an effects processor, send that to a direct out? It's just gonna take the signal from here and just gonna bounce it out. I think router wise, I don't see why it would not do it. But I don't know if the lane are available for that. And if you are doing it, let's say virtually, and you add latency, is it a good thing? Because now people will complain that you cannot add or cannot use that for sending to monitoring, like the P16 or P24 is the new one, or DP48. People will complain about that. So is it really as a working option? Is it really good? I don't know. I don't understand the fuss about direct out, because I have no use for it. Hear me out. I have no use at all for that stuff. I would rather losing the insert EQ, the bus send EQ, and gaining side chaining from most bus or channel or everything, basically. To me, that's going to be a better deal, or it would be a better option. Patrick, answer or question. X32 emulator is a program that acts like a real X32 without audio capability, of course, but support nearly 99% of the OSC command. The X32 had even the 16 simultaneous user. Okay. So basically you can run the X32 software to do some stuff. Okay, interesting. Hold on, I just want to make sure that I'm not too busy with Dazzle Dream question, because he just keeps throwing them at me. Nick, you're typing really fast. That's all I gotta say. First insert, like the second insert, is for okay. First insert, like the second insert, and Automix is selectable. Okay, I got you. So you can select a effects, the Automix left or X or Y, and you can enable that. And that's the basically. Is it using a tap point to do the? Yeah, it probably does. It probably using a side chain to. It's probably using a side chain to talk to the internal mixer or the Automixer, and that's available on all the channel, if I'm correct, right? Not on the aux, only on the first 40. But well, maybe it's an option. Maybe if you choose, you could maybe choose not to have an effects or an Automixer here, and maybe having a tap point, maybe having a direct out limited to the 40 channel. It will be a big win if it's. I don't know if that feature is in there or not. Anybody that understand the quirks of that stuff can confirm that, or if anything, I'm just going to suggest it to the dev. I don't know if this is an option or not, but maybe we can use, the tap point from here to, having another option here as a direct out, and from there we can select that, or even just as a side chain. Well, actually, it's already sidechaining. I don't know. I don't know how that's way too deep in the software for my understanding of it. You need to know how it's built to understand that stuff. All right. Between losing the tap EQ and the existing 24 user signal, can they pull it off? I don't think the user signal is going to be an option. Because the user signal is more than just a direct out. The spec from the Allen and 8 card. Bidirectional audio with accompaniment of the Alt48. 48 and 96K device can be used to split high channel count between system and support. Okay. Simultaneous recording up to 64 channel. Okay. To go back on next question, basically you need to be switchable and compromise, but at least it's an option. Okay. The Brooklyn 3 card has been released late 2022, and it's a replacement for the Brooklyn 2 card, so it's basically just an upgrade. All right. Now that we cleaned that up. Hold on, Nick. Hold on. I'm coming. I just need to scroll through the chat because some lovely people also have questions. You can monopolize my stream, man. If you want to do that, you need to show up your face on camera like we're supposed to do. I take you on your word. I have a comment on one of my videos that said that we should do a engineer's talk together. We can talk about that. We can actually talk about that stuff. It would be a really good starting point. How to make the tap in the iPad app? I don't know. I'm not using the iPad app for the Wing. I know some people will be really disappointed in that. Next week, sure. Next week I probably can find an hour or two to figure that out. We can talk about your suggestion, because so far, honestly, you talked about like really good suggestion, and you did some really cool stuff, like the video that Nick did for the people at Alto Music, where I'm gonna take a little bit of credit for that one, where we start talking about having the GPIO used as a on-off switch for microphone, for talkback mic. When you push on that pedal, you basically mute the channel that goes to front of house, opening up a channel that goes to in-ear only, do your thing, and when you release the switch, it goes back. But we can talk about that stuff. Yes, of course, you actually figure out the switching where I'm good at that. I'm good. I'm a really good hardware guy, because I spend my whole life playing around with electronics, even at the basic level. But understanding how a resistor is working, what a capacitor is, understanding how a relay is working, and understanding signal flow for power or for sound has been life-changing for me. This is something that I'm using on a day-to-day basis. And after that, I've learned electricity when I went to school, the tech school. I actually have a diploma over there that showed that I went to school for that stuff. Modify a lot of Marshall amp. Nice. My day job is an electrical engineer. Okay, so you understand what's going on here when we talk about GPIO. But this is a completely foreign concept for a lot of people. You have to think about this. People here on this channel. Let's do a quick map of the kind of people that we have here. We have Dan, who is an electrical engineer. I don't know for anybody else. We have Patrick, that is a software developer. We have Nick, Dance of Dream, that play around with electronic, know how to solder, and I got my background. I have a background in electronics. I've been doing band for years. I've been soldering for years. I've built XLR. I've built stuff. I repair some stuff. I repair some computers. I build network in my house. I'm really good with a lot of stuff in life that has to do with I understand RF, I understand all that stuff. And for some people, we are totally next level high up there. They will never reach, or they never have the patience or the time to accumulate all that knowledge for making that stuff work. Just to say that I don't want to throw myself flower. I just want to say that we are versus the normal human being that tried to work with these console so next level. So next level. I have still to this day, is it how many years the Wing has been out? 5 years, or soon to be 5 year. No, actually it's been 5 years because it was released. The first one were released, I believe, December 2019, something like that. $2019. Thank you. Sorry, I just need to add up. Patrick says, I build computer, telephone, GPS system for a living and wrote software for them. People to this day, 5 year after this console's been released, still send me email and still send me video call requests for patching, understanding signal flow. And we don't talk about how to EQ stuff and what sounds good and what doesn't. Patrick is the guy also do network engineering. Okay. Buller, you're a studio designer. You're doing acoustics for studio designer? Okay. Do you this community is so next level. It's crazy. I'm learning from you guys, and I'm pretty sure we're all learning together about some stuff. And the level of skill and experience in this chat, and for some reason Rob is not here today or doesn't comment, maybe he's cooking something, but this community is so next level. There's nothing like with the amount of skilled people that we have here in the chat. There is no question that cannot be answered, because if it has to do with sound, we kind of all know our stuff. If it's software related, Patrick knows his stuff. If it's network design, we can ask that DevOP kids. I mean, man, this is so next level. So, all that to say, man, sorry. This is not your typical hangout for a newbie. You are more than welcome. If you are a newcomer and you want to know how to plug a microphone in, what? I know Berenger has watched your videos. You mean Yuli is watching my stuff? Maybe. If he does, I'm more than happy. And I know the people at Music Tribe are watching my video. For sure. I know some of the guys, well, some of the guys are incognito in the chat. And I know that because they send me email and other stuff. Did you get endorsed? No, not at all. Behringer did not even send me a sticker. I didn't get a t-shirt. I got nothing from those guys. Maybe at some point, and I'm gonna be careful of my word here, maybe at some point I was supposed to get some gear for review, but it never happened. A lot of people got the compact and the rack for review before it got released, and I thought you got the mixer for free. No, not at all. Actually, my first one, I purchased it from AVL when they were a dealer back then. After that, my 2 compact, I had to purchase from Automixer in upstate New York, because the deal with Canada right now is that Long and McQuaid is gonna be the distributor for them. I'm working a deal with Long and McQuaid as we speak to get the console to not really to dealers, but to other companies. I want to try to act here as a sorry, Stefan. Even Sweetwater sent me stickers and candles. Yeah, there you go. But I'm working a deal with Long and McQuaid, not Sweetwater. I'm working a deal with Long and McQuaid. Sweetwater actually they laughed me out the last time that I had to deal with these guys. I tried to do some business with them and start to talk, and was told that if they didn't know me as a YouTuber, well, I yeah. Berenger, if you watch this guy needs to be signed. Yes, thank you. Would appreciate that. But yeah, no, you know what? See it the other way around. Because I'm not under any kind of endorsement with these guys. I do not have any paycheck or there's no money at all being made by this YouTube channel. It's giving me the option to criticize without, even in the back of my mind, having a fear of losing any kind of income due to my opinion or my public opinion. So take that as a statement to say that everything that you see here is honest. I have no financial repercussion on whatever I'm saying here, other than maybe losing job around me. You know, all the people that own Wing pretty much in my area know who I am, and you know they all call me up for tips and tricks. And I'm gonna say, in my part of Canada, or people that I've met on gigs that have a Wing, they all have my phone number. If they have a problem, they can call me up. But other than that, other than losing these guys, which are not directly related to my source of income at all, yeah, everything that you see here is 100% honest, and I do stuff because I want to do it, and it's really coherent with the stream that I'm gonna do. You're not supposed to do. Oh, come on! I'll lose my train of thought here with Rolf comment. You're not supposed to be Drew's brother. No, I'm not. I'm not Drew's brother. And all I'm gonna say about this is, for some people, and I had some people telling me this, they prefer my video. Even if I'm looking at Drew stuff, and Drew stuff is good, great, knowledgeable, but I feel, and that's just a personal opinion, I don't know the guy, I never had the chance to talk with him or to work with him, but I feel like he's there to also push like his preset pack or other stuff like that, where I don't. The only thing that I push money wise is the YouTube membership that give you access to the video before they get released publicly, the super membership where you get an hour of time with me, and after that my one-on-one consultation for a fee. If you guys want to do like intensive stuff, you can send me a request. My email is in the description. Send me an email, make me work. You're gonna have basically access to this setup where I'm showing you guys with the 2 camera how to work your Wing, and if that camera is focusing, it's gonna be better. But basically that's about it. That's the only thing that I push. I have, other than myself, I don't have anything to sell. I at some point wanted to do a coffee mug with logos on them and stupid stuff. I'm still not against it, but I didn't push it still, so that's about it. All right, we're gonna answer Randy's music question because I don't want to talk about that too much. I want the show to be entertaining and fun, so let's go with Randy's music's question. I'm wanting to hook up an external preamp using an alt channel. Is using an alt channel bypass the preamp? Using an alternate channel do not bypass the preamp. What will bypass a preamp inside the console is, and I don't know which one you have, if you have a full size, when you're gonna come on a channel, if you go to your aux in, which the compact doesn't have, if you are on a full size and you select aux in, it will be a non-preamp input. If you are on a compact like I am, you only have the 24 physical preamp, but lucky for you, they are all combo jacks. So if you are using the 1/4 inch in the back, you should bypass the preamp, as far as I know. Maybe it could be wrong, but you're gonna go straight into the converter for a line level input on the console from a line level output of your preamp. If you go 1/4 inch out into 1/4 inch of a console, it should bypass the preamp. Is there another way to do this? No, that would be the way to do it. That would be the way to do it. You just take a preamp or an input in the back that you like, 1/4 inch, and you're safe. You can honestly use an XLR as long as you keep the gain to, let me use an input that has an XLR. Do I have one connected to? Local 4. There you go. As long as you have the gain set to 0 or to -2, you should not have any problem having a preamp. Oh, wrong camera. You should not have any problem using that. It's going to be working more than fine. You can maybe use -2.5, and you can, because you have really good converter inside the wing, you can modulate really high. You can modulate to around 0 and should not have any problem of audible distortion with that setting. Well, does setting the gain to 0 kind of bypass the preamp? It's gonna make it a null. It's gonna make it to a point where it would not give you amplification, but it's not gonna bypass the preamp. The preamp will still be in the chain. There will be, there will be some kind of coloration. Is there a difference between 0 and -2.5 dB on the preamp? Yes, you have -2.5 dB of gain when you set the preamp to -2.5. Not in the conversion, in the signal chain, nothing will change. The only thing that will change is if you have the big console and you use a line in or an aux in. There is no preamp on that one. It's just, a line in into the converter, and there you go. But if you have a compact, nothing wrong against using the 1/4 inch in the back. It's just gonna work. Not using the 1/4 inch jack bypass. I'm not sure if using the 1/4 inch jack bypass a preamp. Did I say bypass 20 times here for no reason? Would really like to have a test on that. Yeah, it's probably not bypassing the preamp, but it will be a safe, for sure, line level input. Another option, great suggestion here from Chris, you can use a Stage Connect device if you have some. The Stage Connect stuff will allow you to have 32 input for your preamp, for your external preamp. So if you are in the studio, maybe thinking about having a 16 input and maybe a 16 output Stage Connect device to do patching stuff, to have 16 of your great preamp, or to have any combination of the 32 channel of Stage Connect available, to put some more preamp in to do reamping. That would be a great option to look at the Stage Connect stuff for that, but you don't have to. If you're using a physical preamp 1/4 inch at 0 dB, it's gonna work. The preamp will be there, but it will not add any kind of amplification. You should be good to go. Actually, I'm gonna say the thing that probably you don't want to hear, but it doesn't matter. As long as you don't distort that stuff, stacking up preamp that way, it's not gonna be a big deal. It's gonna work, and people have made record that sold back in the day when people were buying record, but people have sold record way worse option for sound than that, and it's never been an issue. So don't let You know, don't let those things stop you to make some great music. It matters more to have, you know, a great performance, a great song, than having a preamp in the chain that has a 0 dB effect on the preamp that you want to use. But also, great time to mention that the 24 preamp in the back of the wing are amazing. If you guys want to have a compact in your studio as a, you know, full unit to record 24 input from a band, you can do monitoring with that stuff. It will be a great monitoring console and recording console if you want to send that stuff in a computer. You have great preamp. 24 of those should be more than enough to record any drum, even a live band off the floor. So yeah, will be awesome. Sorry, I'm just reading here. Yes, the Stage Connect box don't have any preamp for sure. If you can afford a full size, go for it. Okay. I would say, well, it depends on what you want to do with it. For a studio, if it doesn't move, yeah, sure, the full size is a good option. But you only have 8 preamp in the back, and you only have 8 line in, where the compact will give you 24. Mic pre, not only input, 24 mic pre. Talking Stage Connects, I heard some signal issue from Facebook. Yeah, I saw somebody posting a comment this week about the Stage Connect stuff not working correctly, but I think it's a one of a kind situation. It could be a default faulty unit, but yeah. I almost pulled the trigger on Stage Connect device or SD8. SD8 is the same cost in Europe, so I may go with yeah, go with the SD8. It will be a better option. Could have something to do with the use of analog cable or DMX cable. When it comes to the kind of signal that is carried with Stage Connect stuff on short distance, it should not make any difference. Like AS3 cable, it should not do any difference on short distance. Basically, the resistance in the cable will not be enough to influence the device. Maybe if you are using really bad cable, like if you build yourself an XLR with old lamp cord that is not shielded, that is not, you know, a twisted pair, maybe you're gonna have a hard time. But I'm pretty sure just a regular XLR 3 mic is gonna work just fine on a distance, you know, within regular, you know, distance. It should be fine. I believe under 25 feet or 5 meter or 7 meter, it should be fine. It should not have anything to do with that. Maybe if it's a bad cable, I don't know, but it should not be an issue. Hi, is it possible to have delay on a bus, for example, to delay the sound from a live stream? Yes, actually, with the release of firmware V3, you now have delay on bus. If you select a bus, like right now, I'm going to select bus 1. We're going to go in, we're going to start on that home menu. You're going to go on here on the second menu. I never know how it's called, that menu here. And you have basically your bus delay here. Enable that. You can go by sample. The smallest amount is 16 sample. And the config menu. Thanks, Andy. And you can enjoy yourself with that delay. It goes up to 150 meter, which I believe should be enough. 150 meter, yeah, that's a lot of distance. Hey, Randy Music, thank you very much for subscribing as a member of the channel. Really appreciate that you join in. This is the small, you know, stuff like that make a difference. At the end of the day, I really like every single person here who is a member of the channel. I think you subscribe as a regular member, no problem. Just know for next time you have the option to subscribe as a super member if you want to. Really, if you want to support the channel a little more and have one-on-one conversation with me, 1 hour free every month. If you don't, well, just subscribe as a member. I really appreciate that. So I hope that answered your question, Maze. Yeah, I like to record the dev. I like to record raw and use plugin afterward. Nick, I'm using the DN4080 in my rack for 8 channel of wireless line in level and 4 stereo in-ear mixes. Yes, definitely. You can also do that when an SD8 or a DL8 like I have. Really, really good option. Let's talk about this. The DMX 3-pin XLR versus AS EBU XLR. Both 110 ohm. Both are same pin out. Question is, what is the difference between the protocol and cable spec? I believe they are the same. I could be wrong. It's as long as you have 110 ohm or less resistant cable, I believe this is rated for DMX cable. But I am no expert in DMX protocol. I know how to work a console or two. I know how to work a Grand MA and good old ETC Express, the holy grail of light console. And that's about it. I know how DMX working. It's really close to MIDI. If you guys know what a MIDI stuff is, it's really, really similar to that. But other than that, demultiplexing signal protocol is not something that I know much about. But I believe it's really, really close. Bowler, I have two SD8 acoustic, guitar, bass, perk, and one SD16 for drum in the studio, plus the wing. The rack for rack on is okay. Yeah, it's a really nice setup that you got there. Patrick says an regular XLR is a 75 ohm resisted cable and DMX is 110 ohm. Our preamp on the compact, same as the full. And apparently, is it the same thing as the blue one? Well, I don't know. And I'm going to do an A/B test with that. I was about to say a shout out. I'm going to do an A/B test between these two to make sure that they are the same as the blue stuff. But I believe they are really, really close to the blue preamp here. I need to basically, do I have my SD8 around? No. I basically want to do a 8 or 16 output mix, like taking one stage box, not connected to any of the systems, so the clock is not going to sync that stuff. I want to have 16 analog preamp. I want to send these 16 analog preamp into the wing, into a DL151 that I have, and I also want to send those into my SD8, DL8. I want to send those into my DL8 in 2 batch, and I want to record that. I also want to do it. I want to do it with a band. I want to do it with a pink noise, and I want to do some null tests to see if I have any difference. But I believe they are the same thing, or really, really, really close. I want to understand something. What's the difference between those cable if the XLR has less resistance with 75 ohm versus 110? I thought it was the other way around. I thought a normal XLR had more, a higher impedance. And that's the reason why I was not working on long distance. It's not resistance, it's impedance. Okay, gotcha. Patrick says AES CBU cable versus the DMX3. AES and DMX is the same cable. Yeah, okay. So in theory, AES ABU cable will be correct for stage connect. Yes, yes. You need 100. Basically, you need 110 ohm cable, as far as I understand. I don't have the spec in front of me. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's the right cable for that. I also believe if you run Cat 5e or Cat 6, you can run that into the stage connect stuff. I believe it will work the same. I know the MX cable is correct for stage connect, but I don't know how much, let's say, Cat 5 converter can work, and I don't know how much, what is the resistance here, but I believe Cat 5, could be wrong, but I believe Cat 5e is really close to 110 ohm. Anybody can confirm? What does the left-right swap do? I thought I could be switching my main left-right if routed backwards in hookup, but after thinking, I don't think so anymore. Any thoughts? You're talking about, let's say I'm selecting here my main left-right, and I just do this. That would revert left-right. Are we talking about the same thing? The Cat 5 converter is supposed to support both XLR and DMX. Yes. But, yes, but. There's always a but. Yes, but. Maybe it's not going to work over long distance because we don't have the 110 ohms. Let's go back to the monitor section. I'm gonna go click here on view one time. What are you talking about? Left-right swap. Okay, no, left-right swap would be for your monitor. Let's say that your mix is backward. You're gonna left-right swap. This is in the monitor section. Everything that is in the monitor section will only sorry, I'm reading the chat as we're going, but basically the left-right swap will be just for your monitor section. So no, it's not gonna swap your left-right. If you want to do that, if you want you swap your left-right quickly, you just do this with the width. You just revert the width, and it should just go like, and you're done. If you are backward, and your pan will work that way. Using an analog cat snake for stage connect could be interesting. We'll have to test if it works. It's definitely gonna work. It's a matter of what distance can you get before losing too much, you know. Cat 5 as another bonus other than closer impedance. The twist of each pair formed eddy current, which from a natural shield. Sorry, not quite right. The eddy current in combination with the twist create a shield. I'm not really. I kind of understand how the network stuff is working, how the cable, you know, the twist inside of it matters, but yeah. The increased impedance for DMX, I think, is for stability with the digital signal. Maybe that I cannot. The iron impedance stops some reflection. Okay. I kind of understand how that works. I don't know how it's going to affect the signal, you know, inside of it, but I understand that signal reflection is a thing. how it's fully affecting this the setup. Now it's out of my it's out of the stuff that I know. Transmission line 101 today. Well, I wanted to talk about the bus feed menu. We're an hour in and I didn't talk about it yet, so the stream may be a little longer than expected today. We're learning a lot about transmission or signal transmission, which is a good thing. Dan, you should hit me up on Facebook. We should work out my network and my switching together for the setup that I'm gonna build, because I'm finally gonna build this week. Finally gonna build this week the full touring rack, the tour package that I want to build for a long time now. It's been almost a month since I've been talking about it, but I was delaying that stuff before I had the Dante card installed in the console. Now I'm gonna have a Dante card. Well, I have a Dante card in here. That's gonna be good. I will have sorry for the squirrel on, dude. I'm fully on stream. I'm fully ADHD. Reading, doing my stuff, and reading the chat at the same time. It's over my capability, and I'm running low on coffee, so we're gonna squeeze out as much juice as I can. And once I'm done, we're gonna call it a day. I was saying, now that I have a Dante card and that stuff, I want to build my full rig. I want to have a router. I have a Ubiquiti router with an access point inside my ring. Everything is PoE. I love it. And I'm having a hard time with my Ubiquiti switch. I just have a 8 port that I want to divide into 2 VLAN for having 4 port on 1 primary, 1 secondary, and control. And maybe Dan, you can help me out with that if you're good with the Ubiquiti stuff. It seems to be easy, but for some reason I'm having a hard time to make a change. Every time that I'm, diving into new technologies, when I build my first home server, dude, I struggle so much when it comes to deal with TrueNAS. And everybody here who has built their own NAS, the learning curve of TrueNAS is really steep at the beginning. And I'm still really, really low on the curve, but all right, thank you, Dan. Really, really appreciate that. I'm having a hard time with my Ubiquiti switch, so if you know your way around it, it's cool. Cisco, well, I tried to go with a Cisco switch, and if you guys want to hear a funny story, I bought a Cisco switch. Never find the rack gear for it, because I was looking to do a rack mount 48 port switch, but I've worked great. And actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to bring that stuff over here. Maybe you guys can help me out. Hold on a second. I said in the new setup that I was going to talk about gear a little more. We're going to do that. All right. So that's my first switch. That's the one that I bought a long time ago. It's supposed to be a PoE switch. It's supposed to be it's a D-Link, by the way. I replaced the fan in there because they were bad. Found the fan at my local, electronic shop for $5. 3 new fan in that switch, really good, but it doesn't have the rack gear. And for a tour package, I don't want to put a shelf with tie wrap on it to hold that thing down. So I have a backup switch. It's working. I'm okay to program it, no problem. Hold on. Now the fun part. Bought this switch from a friend. This is a Netgear, and I'm going to tell you the model number just to make sure. It's a GS748TP. So it's a really cool Netgear switch. And can I get it to focus? 48 port PoE. That's managed, as far as I know. I believe this is a managed switch. I tried to set it up Did my all my P-touch and everything. Hold on, I'm gonna try to focus on that. Did my P-touch and everything for all my Dante primary. Oh, come on. Focusing distance on that lens is not great. Wrote down my, you know, Dante port number and everything. Tried to put that on static mode, and I don't know what I did. Could have been the firmware. Could have been the firmware update. Could have been my config. The switch maybe have died on me. After about an hour of working with it, I tried to do a reset, and it's gone. I tried to do the factory reset about 10 times. I cannot talk to the switch. It's turning on. It's connecting where I have a port. When I connect my laptop to the port, there's something happening. If I'm firing up Wireshark, I can see something happen, but I cannot go back to the default IP of this switch. I tried everything. If anybody out there got any suggestion for me, will be more than happy, but so far I cannot get a signal through. I cannot, you know, just say factory reset. Out of the box, factory reset should work. It should work as a 1 VLAN 48 port switch. I cannot ping some stuff through it. It seems to be dead. But I had all my label ready. This is a PoE switch. This is what I wanted to have in my touring rig, so that I can have 24 ports of, you know, 1 VLAN for primary Dante, another VLAN for another Dante secondary and control, having, you know, my Ubiquiti access point connected to it. I cannot find anything. I cannot do anything with that switch. There is no control port in the back. I cannot override it. Maybe I downloaded the wrong firmware version for it. Maybe I don't have the right hardware for the firmware that I did, and I bricked it. I don't know. I thought I was a good guy and read all the instruction and got everything right, but for some reason, I don't know. Looks like an L2. I think it's an L2 switch. I remember reading something like that. Smart switch semi-managed. Yes. These guys in Europe, I can send you a Cisco switch. Well, I'm not in Europe. I'm in Canada. And that's a semi L3 switch. Not a fan of those. Seemed like a firmware issue. It's probably a firmware issue. Dan, you got to work, man. Go to work. All good. But basically, that's the plan so far. So what I did is I simply abandoned the project. Hold on. I'm gonna show you where I'm at right now. I now switch to a Unify Ubiquiti switch. This is an 8-port switch. That's the PoE, by the way. It's the power injector. This switch can be powered over an Ethernet cable, meaning that you can have that switch. You can have a PoE injector or power injector, and if you connect that into the switch in port 1, it's going to power up the switch, and on port 8 you have a PoE pass-through, so I can fire up my Ubiquiti access point, and that's basically where I want to go. I want to have that switch under the console, or actually mounted somewhere. I'm gonna figure out a way to mount that. I'm gonna have my access point again inside the rack somewhere, and I'm gonna figure out a way to mount that into my rack. The range is really good. I believe I was doing the last time about a mile So 2.5 kilometer. Last time that I checked on that's time that I had that thing in my rack. Sorry, this used to be the access point that I had in my wing core, not my X32 core setup. So it was working great, like to the point where I'm almost afraid of having that next to me in the rack, because it seems to be really a strong signal transmitting device. So for venue, it's gonna be more than fine. Actually, this one is on stage, and this one is on stage for musicians to run their iPad off. This is a gigabyte capable device, so more than what I need for just remote control of the wing. So that's the plan. This PoE into this, and I'm having that into port 1. And because it's a PoE injector, I'm not losing a port, by the way. If I'm connecting this to the primary of my console, my Dante will go in here. I don't know if I'm gonna do it this way. I may just skip and get my console into port 2, so that way I have nothing in the way. But the PoE injector as a input through the output of that PoE injector has power to power up the switch. So I don't need to run another power adapter for that, and I don't need to run another power adapter for my access point. My access point is what I'm using to connect to my console, basically. So that's the plan. That's where I am right now, and that's the rig that I'm throwing on the ground. That's the point that I am. I have all the pieces of the puzzle now. I just need to figure out the ubiquity switch. I'm trying to setting up a VLAN, and I want to give it IP number. I want to give it an address, and so far it's not working. I'm not really used with the ubiquity environment. So if you guys are, how's your weekend schedule? Not that busy. Maybe we can work something out. It's a dead season for the event people right now, so we'll see what's going on with that. The only way to help is to log into the switch and check the config. If you can't, it's tough to walk you through. Yeah, the big one, the blue one, oh come on, the Netgear one is probably dead. I may have flashed the wrong firmware on it, or having, I don't know what I've done to it, or if it just died on me, because it's an old switch still. This switch is about 10 years old. It was working. I bought it from a guy that I know, really nice guy. He didn't screw me over for sure. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to save it, otherwise I'm done $100. It's not the end of the world. I will have food on the table this weekend, but it's just, it's bad. What model OS the ubiquity switch is? Hold on. Ubiquity switch is I believe the US 8. I'm just gonna remove that before I drop it on the ground. It's a US-8 ubiquity switch. I believe it's on firmware 6. It's not the latest up to date. For some reason I cannot update to the latest firmware, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I have control over it, just not the latest version on that. Can you take the air off and put it on the other one? No, it's not standard. It's not like the other gear. I cannot take the air off and put it on the other one. It doesn't work. The screw hole are not the same size and not the same place. So yeah, that's where I am right now, switch wise. But I want to get that stuff going for Dante, for eventually another rig, or my personal rig that I want to carry around. Maybe I'm gonna use something that is smaller. I have a Cisco switch somewhere that I'm gonna put in my wing that I'm gonna keep at home, or the one that I'm gonna travel with. So that's probably what I'm gonna use, to be honest. But yeah. The Ubiquiti stuff is really easy because it has a user interface that makes sense. Actually, somebody tried to sell me off on buying Thank you very much. Yeah, we can do a virtual meeting. I would appreciate that seriously a lot. If you ever need help with the wing, let me know. I'll hold you one or two. We'll figure that out. Nothing to worry about. All that to say that, yeah, that's going to be the plan. I'm going to have my Cisco switch in my other one, and I will have, again, two ports. Actually, I can show you guys. I got this one from... Got this little guy here, that little Cisco from people. I'm gonna make sure that from people that were throwing it away. It has a tape on it, says defect, and I believe the PoE in doesn't work because these switch have power PoE input. I believe other than the PoE not working, I believe the switch is totally fine. So I'm running this one with a power adapter, a 12-volt power adapter, and I call it a day. And this one's going to be on my personal rig because this one doesn't have a PoE out for my access point. So I'm gonna need to figure out that. And on my smaller personal rig, I don't mind having an extra plug or two. I'm gonna stay basically a power bar into my setup, but for the touring rig, I want to keep it as lean as possible. So this is why one PoE injector for everything is going to be the way to go for me. Man, the Midas Pro Series goes so cheap. Yeah, it's legacy gear. Nobody wants it. Robert, good to see you, man. What are you cooking today? Can we smell what Robert is cooking? Sorry, I don't know why, and I'm gonna go totally off the rail here. I don't know why recently. Yeah, what about BuzzFeed? Sorry, Ivan. We're gonna dive back into this. Actually, I wanted to talk about Dante too, so we kind of did the curve to talk about the Dante stuff, how it's gonna be integrated into my other rig. I'm totally gonna forget where I was going with that because, okay, quick story short. I don't know for you guys, but recently during the off time, I've been catching up with pro wrestling, WWE, and because of all the fuss, because they're moving out to Netflix, they probably spend money on advertisement because right now my feed is full of like old time pro wrestling, and I'm a 16 years old or 12 years old kid again, and I'm watching The Undertaker beating up Stone Cold Steve Austin for no reason, and I've been diving into that whole thing recently. And all that to say, can we smell what Rob is cooking? Moving on. Because I don't want to dive into pro wrestling here. This is not what we're talking about. We're having a good time. But, man. Yes, we can check how power port you need depending on how much device will be plugged in. It would just be my access point. That's going to need PoE. Ubiquity limit is 48 watt for our PoE and 4 ports on the 8 our PoE capable. No, actually, the one that I have is not 4 port. It's the other one. I believe it's the previous version where I only have one. And maybe I can try to show you guys quickly. I only have one PoE port and one pass-through. This one, you see the black labeling on top of the port. This is why it's a single port PoE. But I try not to play around too much because, like an idiot, I broke the reset switch on this one. It's totally my fault, by the way. I bought that used, and I put something in the reset to try to reset it, and I pushed too far, and I broke the little switch that is tiny, a tiny little switch, and I broke it too much, and I cannot solder it back in. So, all my fault. I can still short the pin on the motherboard to reset it if I need to, but I need to open up the switch, so it's It's gonna be fine. Once it's gonna be set up, it's never gonna move. I'm just gonna put it in the rack, mount it sideways next to something, plug on my cable, and call it a day. And it's never gonna move again. It's never gonna do anything. This switch will deal Dante, and I'm not 100% sure what's the deal with Ubiquiti and Dante, but there are some presets for that switch in the software for Dante. You can tell basically the switch that it's there to run Dante on different VLAN, and it has a config for that. So this is what we're gonna use this for, and this is the config that I'm gonna hope to get. I believe right now it's working as 2 different VLAN. You know, VLAN, for those of you who don't know, is a way to split a switch into different network. They don't see each other if you tell them to don't see each other, and this is exactly what I want to do. I want to have my Dante card into that console to run as, you know, a primary and a secondary port. So that way I can have, you know, primary on one side using 1 port for the console and 3 port open for other device. I want to have my secondary, 1 port will be for the secondary from the console, 1 will be for my access point, so I can have access to the remote control for the wing. But other than that, this switch, it's all it's going to do. I'm going to have 3 free port on the primary side, 2 free port on the other side. I'm thinking about on my tour package to pre-route everything Dante and create a Dante network backup for a situation where I will need to, where I cannot run my own snake, and I can do pretty much gain sharing from the Dante from my console to the other console at front of house. So maybe it's an option. Maybe I can just ask somebody at some point if I show up to a venue and they have network cable and for some reason I cannot run my snake, can I just plug that in and the preamp will be set for that. But I don't know. I'm still debating about that. But maybe I want to use Dante as a backup option if my AES50 line is not something that I can be doing that day for front of house, because on the stage I'm running my stage box inside the same rack, so there's definitely no problem with that. But I don't know. It's an option. All my console have 64 channel of Dante. It's just there for me to use or not. So if I want to use it, it's going to be there. Too many posts to go through. Yeah, definitely. It's been a long stream today. So yeah. Can we talk about bus feed? Or actually, is there anything that we need to talk about still for bus feed? I wanted to go back on that video because a lot of you guys have watched it, and you know, maybe we can talk about the main feed a little bit, which is, well, it's kind of all the same thing, to be honest. Not a lot of you guys have question about this, because I was expecting, to be honest, to have a lot of question about this, because a lot of you guys watched the video and I was expecting people to come back with question. But yeah, the new switch Patrick's are white. They are different. It's a different model. So seriously, yeah, I think I explained it really well in the video, and I was expecting more downtime. So I can go for another few minutes. So maybe we can take a couple more questions. If not, we're gonna call it a day after an hour and a half. Rob said, XLR mic has no spec impedance, so it can be anything. Okay. Really interesting. I thought there was at least some kind of, you know, margin to where a mic cable should be, but it's pretty much anything. Well, actually, the crappy one are really bad. I don't know if you guys ever saw those crappy little XLR cable coming from like the cheapest Amazon sale that you can get. You look at them too hard and you think you're gonna break the wire inside. I believe it's supposed to be a 24 gauge when it comes to XLR. but I don't know what gauge were they, maybe 30, something like that. It was really low density copper, and I don't remember what is it, but the cheapest manufacturer for stuff have a kind of pinkish color copper, which is a different blend of metals together. It's a different alloy together. It looks like copper, but it's not, and it's gonna break easier, if I believe. It's way cheaper to make that a little bit, but have so many things happen today. We're just going left and right. I want to check the DAW control. So okay, I'm gonna go back to this. Before that, I'm gonna go with the. So basically, yeah, you need to have a physical RJ45 connected to your console or to your Dante interface on both sides. It's not working over Wi-Fi, and you need to have that. Your network is dropping. Yes, I got issue 2. Okay, you guys, can you guys see me? Are we back? Are we back? Just let me know if we're back or not. Now it's okay. Okay. Yeah, the problem is Little Snitch. If you guys know anything about network, I'm running Little Snitch on my computer, and I'm running the demo mode. I should definitely buy myself a license for that. But Little Snitch gave me some trouble here. I had some pop-up. So if I'm back, the traffic is back on my network. Should be good. So no snowstorm on your end is not a problem, Robert. Don't worry about that. So just to make sure, I'm going to recap that. Basically, you need an RJ45 cable between your device if you want to use Dante Virtual Sound Card, and to register your license, you need to have access to the internet, and your computer need to have access to the internet. I'm applying a live stream. Hire me. Okay. I have a budget. Here's the thing. I have a budget here of about 5 cents per live stream. So, Happy New Year, Sims Recording Studio. Until I make a lot of money with these things, it's a one-man show with whatever problem that I have to deal with. We're gonna go through it. If I could, I wish so bad that I could have an operator and having like camera coming in. It will be awesome. Will, what's up? You've been quiet recently. Nothing to say here? Little Snitch is worth it. Yeah, I know. I just need to pull the trigger, and I tried it for a while. You know, it's a trial. You give it a try, and I bought it. Like I bought Reaper back in the day. I've tried I used Reaper for a year or two before buying the license. Eventually I bought it. Nowadays I don't use it anymore, and I've lost a license, so I believe it's outdated, because when you buy a Reaper license you have a couple of version update. I believe my license was good until Reaper 5, and I think they are at version 6 or 7. So definitely worth it. If you guys are using Reaper, you should definitely buy a license, and I'm probably gonna pull the trigger and buy a license for Little Snitch. I'll put that on the company. Will be a tax write-off. So, what should we talk about? I said I should talk about the DAW control, and I've never tried the DAW control on the compact. We'll see what's going on with that if you give me a second here. Switch the camera and let's see what's going on. We're gonna go to DAW, and we will see first the option that we have. I know it's a little different on the wing. It's just okay. It doesn't have the profile like on the full size. When you click that here, on the full size you have a list of DAW preset. Here, I believe this is just a random or a generic Mackie MCU or HUI interface that work with the user button. And you have the choice of connection between your DIN and your USB. So I don't know where it's even less on the rack. Okay. Yep, no indicator for DAW. How can you actually turn it on? Like to have that section of the console being in DAW mode. Do you need to do a custom control for that? We're gonna go into edit. We're gonna go here and the unused button. Do we need to make a custom control for that? Other DAW layer, is that an option? We're out. Network dropped again. Really? I'm gonna start moving. I'm gonna stop moving. Go to remote. No, go back. Okay, we're back. We're back. Are you guys okay? Do I need to do anything on my side? There's probably a time machine backup turning on my computer, and I'm using my 10 gig network up to my server a lot. So sorry. I don't know why. Okay, go back to setup. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to setup. Let's go setup. I'm gonna show you that picture. So setup. You have the option to have your user button only. So if you want to do mixing from your console, but having placed up record, but keeping the audio channel in front of you, you can do that. You can also have button plus 8 fader. They should have done 12 fader. But that's basically it. Go to remote. The remote option. This has nothing to do with that. I can disable all that stuff. Actually, audio. What are you talking about, audio? Audio has nothing to do with DAW. Okay, hear me out, Patrick. Maybe we're thinking out loud here. Can't we do DAW go 12 plus a scroll of plus 4? Thinking out loud. I don't know how that stuff works, so maybe no. Let's go back to that screen. MIDI remote control is not in DAW mode. Hold on. MIDI remote control is not in DAW mode. Yeah, that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with well, the MIDI remote control is for the MIDI of the wing. It has nothing to do with the MIDI remote. This is what you're saying, Patrick, right? It's audio on the full size. What are you talking about, audio on the full size? The USB. You must select for the USB interface here has nothing to do with DAW. Well, it has to do with DAW, but if you can use the USB interface and not be in DAW mode, and the DAW mode stuff is not linked to the USB interface. They are two separate things. I know it's going to the same USB cable, but if you can record all day without being in DAW mode at all. The DAW control is really MIDI fader. It's Mackie control to exactly what Patrick just said. DAW mode is Mackie control or EHUE to enable the surface to control your DAW. It has nothing to do with sound. I thought you were talking about recording. But you can be recording all day with that console. It's in the routing menu that you're gonna decide what you send to a DAW. So you go output, and you want to output your signal into your audio interface. And my setup right now is just leftover from stuff that I've worked before. We can probably erase all that. If you want to, quickly send all your signal, your 24 local input from the local into your DAW, you can just go here, enable the +1, and just start to, send all your signal. And that way you can send all your 24 local preamp to your DAW. That way, inside whatever DAW of your choice, you're gonna get local preamp 1 to channel 1. I think did I mess that up? No, I didn't. Okay. And you can also send more stuff. Like let's say that you use your 25 preamp, and after that in 25 you have some effect in here. You have some user signal that you want to send into your DAW. You have your main out. You can say that I'm doing, a main mix, and I want to record that at the same time. You can send effect. You can send reverb that you want to, burn in on your stuff. That's the same thing. If you have stage box, they will come in from a S50A, B, or C. Same thing from here. If you have a 24 channel stage box, you can just do this, and you can record up to 48 channel at the time. I'm gonna go all the way to 24. So with this configuration, keep in mind that we are in output. You're sending into your DAW, so output from the USB into your DAW. You could do all that stuff, and it's gonna be sent into the computer. After that, what you're doing in the computer has nothing to do with DAW control. If you want to get signal back from your DAW, you're gonna go into source, and that's the other way around. You're gonna go in USB, and by default 1 and 2 will be your DAW. So you need to assign that to either a channel or to your speaker. What I like to do is not use a channel for that and just use a speaker. So what I'm usually doing is I'm gonna go here in aux out. Hold on, I want to patch my monitor. There you go, monitor. And you can set the source for your speaker. Oh, can you do that? Hold on. Can you send your source this? Hold on, I'm thinking out loud right now. I don't like to. I'm pretty sure I've done it. Hey, what's up, Charlie? Pretty sure I've done it where you can just send your signal straight to aux 7 and 8. And yeah, you need to do it the other way around. Aux out here. So the phone level on your console, the physical phone level that is right next to the screen, will have control over that output. So if you want your DAW to speak directly to your speaker and use the wing only as an interface, you can go USB, go 1 and 2, and that way whatever is going to come out of 1 and 2 from your computer in DAW will be controlled here with that knob. It's not going to a main out, it's not going to anywhere, it's coming straight from your computer. It's going to be output into the physical output 7 and 8 in the back, which is, or aux 7 and 8, which will be your phone out. What did I miss from Patrick? I'm pretty sure he said something really brilliant, because he knows a lot about this stuff and he's really good with that thing. MIDI remote control is for in and out MIDI signal, not Mackie DAW stuff, to receive MIDI data to make change to your wing or send MIDI bass on your CC fader, etc. from the wing, but not in DAW control mode. Totally agree with that, Patrick. You're definitely right. We're talking about this section here. The MIDI remote here has nothing to do with DAW. So as the static and network option here, that's for remote control via an iPad, an iPhone, or phone or tablet for you to control your mix, basically. DAW and MIDI remote actually use distinct MIDI device. Yes, I know, I had to learn that the hard way. Main out, hold on. Sorry, I'm reading. If you connect your PC to your USB for MIDI, we will be listed as 2, 3, or 4 separate MIDI editor. That's what I use for my Stream 7 and 8. Oh, that's aux. It's not the same thing. I found on the rack that rerouting RUX 7 and 8 for headphone actually lose the monitor volume control. Okay, the volume control seems to be only for wing internal monitoring, not external with input. Okay. Monitor volume control is essentially a DCA. Okay. Send the oscillator to the headphone 7 and 8. Make sure you send oscillator to low output value. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. But okay, hold on. Am I wrong in what I did here? Hold on. Let me sidetrack again. In the routing section, if no, this is not what I want. What I wanted to do. This is really close, actually. The way that I set it up right now, your headphone will hear out the DAW, but if I wanted to use external speaker, I would need to connect them to the phone, which makes absolutely no sense. I would like to do this from the local out. So instead of my main in those options, I would like to have my monitor here in, well, 1 and 2. That way, or using the speaker output, so using 2 left and right, and that way my monitor control here, my physical monitor control, will control the volume, and my main out will be ineffective, right? Did I mess that up, guys? Did this wrong? I'm doubting at the moment. And I understand why some people are still having a hard time with the routing of this console. There are so many options. Basically, to summarize the wing, you can do whatever you want, and there's some stuff that is pre-built for you, but if you want to go out of the beaten path, well, you can have some fun. Like right now, if I'm correct, I have a friend of mine that suggests me to use an oscillator. I'm gonna use an oscillator and I'm gonna send some signal out. And I don't have anything hooked up to the console right now, but basically, if I understand correctly, okay, I can see it working here. I'm moving the physical knob on the left and on the right, and it's affecting the signal going out. So this is basically, like Rob said, the physical knob, the one right there, the one that says monitoring level or monitor level, and the one that says phone. They have basically, it's so small, I don't think you guys can see it. If I'm sending out a pink noise right now to the main out, but the main out is not connected anywhere. If I'm raising the phone volume, it's connected to the phone amplifier of the console, meaning the port in the back, the port in the front, connected there, absolutely no worry. If I'm turning it down, you can see that the VU are disappearing on the screen or not, and it's the same thing for the monitor level. So basically, if you guys running DAW, I would suggest you to use the same thing that I did here, maybe with the phone, because by default everything is soloing the phone and not the boat. But use the phone level, send out to your out 7 and 8, which is probably where you connected your speaker, and that way you have a phone control that is a direct return for your DAW. I think I'm good. I think it made sense. I just did it the wrong way around. But yeah, basically, with the setup that I just did here, you would have access to volume of your main out of your DAW or from your computer over that volume knob here, which would make sense if you were to mix a really loud mix to send into a stream. If you want to have control over that and not mix into your speaker at basically 0 dB. Because if you're doing a mix for a stream, you're pretty much gonna push that loud to 0 dB. If you don't want to run your monitor that hot, you can basically have that on a volume pot here. That's gonna work. All right. I think we cover enough ground today. I didn't talk about the bus at all. Well, there's not really any question about it today. I'm really sorry about that, Ivan. I know you were probably expecting some more, but seriously, I think I cover everything in the video, or apparently I covered everything in the video because nobody seems to have a question. So apparently I've been clear enough. If anybody got another question or two, will be good to go. Really sorry, Ivan. Separate side note. Yeah, next video. Yeah, sure. Next video we can talk about it, no problem. Or if you have any question, feel free to write me on Facebook. You got my I think you have my account there. Or I think we've already spoke on Facebook. Separate side note, for laptop turn on, link mixer channel plus screen to on. Nice feature to have, laptop screen. Follow wing screen, FYI. Is it for the remote control app you're talking about? From laptop turn on, link mixer channel plus screen to on. Nice feature to have on setup page. What? Hold on. I'm trying to see what's going on here. From laptop only. I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about. I'm not a huge edit user because I have a physical console at all the time in front of me. But I'm not sure I understand. Well, I think I understand what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. Is it only from the wing edit? Yes, it's only from the wing edit. So it's basically a follow. Sync direction. Okay, it's a sync direction. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So, I think that's going to be it for today. We've been at it for a long time. We almost spent 2 hours here. It's been a long time since I did a 2-hour video streaming about the wing, and I think we're slowing down enough here. So I'm going to say, hey guys, thank you very much for being part of this subscription. Network issue again. So okay, it's gonna be it's gonna be enough for today then if we have a network issue. So thank you very much for being part of this video. I'm back just in time to say thank you very much for watching. Have a good new year, guys. Happy New Year. Everything that you wish. Health. All the money that you need. Not more. It's not worth it. Health and happiness. Don't turn around what I said with my accent on this one. Until the next one, please take care of yourself. And I see you guys on the new video coming out Wednesday. I have a video coming up. See you.